Yes, Libra is coming out, but not according to the initial design. There are changes, and that is why XRP is far superior, and XRP is being pushed by the competition between the regulated financial institutions, not only for remittance purpose but also for forex. And the giant question is, when will the price of XRP explode? Will it do explode in 2020? If you see value in the video, please do hit the like, subscribe and the bell notification icon to get notified about the future videos. And this shows the desired outcome. And what is happening now? If you look around, fundamentals are getting so strong, as Brad Garlinghouse just stated. Now there are custody services and custody solutions for digital assets from all around the world, and as you can see, there are a lot of banks doing this custody service, because in this one a bank is stating how they're actually doing this. And when we actually look at the charts, it's being bullish. Now we are breaking out from a pattern and we are going high, so that is a bullish push towards a year-long support area. It has to be seen what we are going to do, and we'll actually go through different charts to analyze the odds to understand what's coming ahead. Welcome to the Scientific Investor channel, where we discuss crypto and science behind investing regularly. Libra has tweeted out yesterday that they are looking to go in 2020. They are applying for the license and they are looking forward to getting these done within 2020. So that actually pushes other institutions as well. Do you guys remember Brad Garlinghouse stated that the announcement of Libra actually pushed in a lot of regulated financial institutions towards Ripple, the company. And as we can see, now they are actually shifting into many different partnerships and they are going live. And at the same time, now Libra is coming out again and stating that they are going to be coming out with their own project in 2020. But just after that, there is a tweet from Judy Shelton, and she is actually stating that this Libra which is going to come out is kind of missing its core part. Because when you actually go into the article, you can actually see that they are actually kind of leaving their ambitions of permissionless system behind, and they are moving towards something. They actually, yes, they had the idea previously, a basket of currencies. Like here they're actually talking about the Libra euro, Libra dollar. You can actually see that here. But what you have to understand is the actual idea between the cryptocurrency, like say the original vision of Bitcoin and all, is actually being left behind. So it has to be seen how the investors and the people like you and me will be responding to that. When Libra is scrapping the initial idea, XRP is actually thriving with the initial idea. They are actually adding more into it, not taking out from the initial idea. You can see that Santander is now taking on TransferWise. Now in our previous video, we actually discussed about banks trying to take on their shares of payments. We just heard it directly from the chief of Santander that banks are not only for making loans, they do payments. So payments is so important to them, and with the technology moving like this, they're actually embracing the new technology and trying to get back their share of payments from fintech companies. And this is actually happening. When you actually move forward, you can actually see at the same time the remittance company is trying to fight back. This is a remittance institution, say from Middle East. This is from Oman, and they are showing you Lulu Money activates 24/7 instant money remittance facility. So it's like they are kind of partnering with one another. Say here it is showing that MoneyGram partners with Lulu Exchange. So that is like now fintechs and the payment providers are kind of getting together. And what you have to understand is fintechs are also playing with banks. They are like they're just keeping their legs in both the boats, the payment providers and the banks. Like it's there for everyone. For example, if they are considering Ripple as a company, they are there with all the payments use case. The infrastructure which is being created by Ripple is used for much more. Now, as we just saw, remittance is just only one area, whereas if you're looking forward, they are actually moving into other areas as well. We previously discussed about how securities trading will be used, and security trading will bring the liquidity in to RippleNet. This is an old tweet, which is actually mentioned by XRP Gonzo. Is actually asking whether this is in place right now, because back in 2018 on April 1st, it's noted, the date should be noted, April 1st, David Strauss actually replied like this: that's too late to do us any good, because they were actually looking at a point of time, say just before 2021. So now it's 2020, and if this still stays valid in the current crisis, then we can actually expect something moving ahead, because the end game is money moving invisibly as easily as information, and these guys are working on that, right? So as we move forward, we can actually see that a recent article shows that cryptocurrencies and it's time to shine. They're actually highlighting the current crisis, which is actually moving ahead, and what is happening. Now, this is a video in which if you actually go through that, you can actually see that the CEO of a bank is actually stating that the digital asset custody is being so competitive, and it is going to provide a lot more applications. Say, for example, if it is actually directly installed in your mobile, there will be a lot of things going on. If we can use it easily, then this is going to take off. So we can actually see that it is happening around the world when the custodians are coming out like this. It's not one or two custodians. You can actually see different locations, different banks, different institutions, and there are some flagships as well, like Butt. And when you go down, you can see Fidelity. So there are a lot of giants and newcomers here around the digital asset custody. Now, it has to be seen how it plays out, but there are HitBTC, UOB and other exchanges which are also showing their ability to do transaction between the custodians and tech providers. Now, analyzing the charts, we can actually see that patterns are emerging, and currently we have a bullish break. Now, if we measure the measured move of this pattern, say the break from this pattern gives us an indication that it may move towards the higher resistance, or the target will be around 0.2. So if we move ahead, zooming into a 1 hour chart, we actually see this. Say we broke above the pattern. Now that's a bullish break, and we just came back, retested that level, and now we are actually moving. So when we are moving ahead, keep this in mind that the target is somewhere around 0.2, and that level is also long-term resistance trend line. So it is actually going to be a bit of difficulty to move hard ahead of that, because that's a long-term trend line resistance laying there. But if we actually manage to do that, then the next level should be around 0.38, 0.4. So it's a bullish symbol if we are breaking out of this long-term resistance line, and the trend actually changes into a bullish one. But keep in mind that we had previous long-term support and resistance in this particular area. We came back, retested this area. When we failed to go above that, we just went to 0.1. So keep in mind that if we are getting rejected, then there is still something bearish. But see, for example, if we are actually doing this, coming back, hitting this here at 0.38, then there is a chance that we will make a head and shoulder pattern. But keep this in mind. This is a chance if we are actually breaking above and going from this trend line. Now, say for example, we are getting rejected from this level, then the chances are that we may still come back and make new lows. So that is kind of just the cautionary area which we should keep in mind, because at this time when we are actually getting this, we have to actually understand that the MACD is kind of looking like it's going to cross to the downside. Now, it may actually cross to the downside like this, or it may bounce. Say for example, the MACD is bouncing from one another, then the chances are that the price may directly break above, and you can get this here. If you see here, the price was going down and the MACD was crossing to the downside, but it kind of went back up and bounced from there. So if that's happening, then we can actually expect like the price will move above this pattern. Now this is a shorter time frame chart, say 4 hour chart, and in that one the RSI is showing underlying strength, the bullishness. Say RSI is horizontal, whereas the price is moving down, and at the same time MACD is kind of bottoming out. So it's kind of a U bottom for MACD in that time frame. And when we actually zoom out on a daily chart, we can actually see this. The trend line for RSI is staying valid, and we are kind of getting a bit of bounce in the MACD. And previously, whenever we get that bounce, we actually pumped. So there is a chance that we may actually directly move above 0.2, breaching this resistance. Now this is a weekly chart showing that we are within this range, and that's a tight range, but the RSI and MACD is showing a bit of bullishness. However, we should keep this in mind that we are at that resistance. If we don't break above, then that's a bad sign. If you guys recognize value from this video, please do like, subscribe, and press the bell notification icon.